Imagine this scene. I'm outside chopping some wood, looking forward to finally building a new room for my shelter. My mother calls me from behind.
Son, go do your damn laundry already. Your clothes stink.
And I say, hold on, Ma, I need to get the wood chopping done so I can build the shelter. What? She exclaims. Because I'm not really outside chopping some wood. I am, in fact, sitting on my pro racing gamer chair, my behind firmly planted for hours, my G Fuel or Gamer Subs cup, besides my mousepad. Not a sponsor. Please, if you can't sponsor me. And I'm chopping some trees down in Valheim, near my small little ramshackle hut I call home, to build a new room. My mom beckons me to do the noble task of chores that any good adult should be on top of. Yet I'm addicted. Yes, addicted to doing chores in a virtual world inside a video game. I can't stop chopping this one! But why? Why is it so addicting? Why are simple tasks so addicting in survival games? Hell, why are survival games themselves so addicting? So, ladies and gentlemen, today we will discuss why they are with a little sprinkle of science. Firstly, let us get something straight. You should do your chores. Oh, hush your booing, shut up. I know you don't want to hear it since you've probably heard it from your parents or guardians like a broken record, but it's true. And let me give you a certain gamer shock. That wood chopping, stone metal mining, and base building you're doing in a survival game are just as much of a chore as is you're doing your laundry, cleaning up your room, or taking out the garbage. Though there are some key differences I would like to note. In a game, you are doing chores that are not discomforting. You don't physically feel drained after cutting down a tree or breaking a rock. The second difference is that you're working towards something tangible. It might be intangible since it's a virtual reality. But anyway, what I mean is that you have a tangible outcome in front of you. Like, if you collect 10 wood or 20 stones, you can build yourself a hut. And when you build it, you can see the fruit of your labor right there in front of you. You can interact with it, and most of all, it helps you in the progression of the game, as a base is necessary in most survival games. The last difference I have observed is that this is your choice. No one is forcing you to build a hut. It's you who decided to fall in love with the game anyway, right? You are the captain of the ship. You are the master of your own fate. And you are the one that takes ownership of any little progress you make. So, to summarize, firstly, you don't feel tired after doing tasks in these games. Secondly, you can always get gratification after you do these chores as the success of your labor is tangible. And lastly, it's you who wants to do it. Compare this to real life chores and you will see that for those you always get tired, you never have gratification after completing such chores. I mean, what good does cleaning my room or clothes do when they're gonna get dirty anyways, you say? And the nail in the coffin is that it was probably your mother's nagging that got you off that gamer chair in the first place. Now, after fleshing out my thoughts, I hope you can see a little bit as to why these quote-unquote chores and survival games themselves are addicting. It's like a dopamine circuit but without any setbacks of exhaustion or demotivation. But why have I talked so long about these chores? Well, here comes the science, everybody. Chores are good for you. Our first case comes from the researchers at Florida State University who took 51 participants and divided them up into two groups. One was asked, or one may say forced, to wash the dishes, while the other was instructed to clear their minds and open themselves up to the dishwashing experience. They were told the therapeutic effects of dishwashing and the ability to become more mindful if one focused on the act of dishwashing only. Surprise, surprise! Group 2 became much more focused and felt relaxed as compared to Group 1. This is because simple menial tasks take us to a happy place. Or better yet, you can say a quiet place. You drain your mind of those anxious thoughts like, have I paid the bills yet? Or, oh man, the assignment deadline is just in 3 weeks now. We all have these thoughts at whichever point of life we're in. But once we get absorbed into the menial tasks of washing the dishes or doing the laundry, and we focus on those tasks, it takes our mind away from such thoughts. And I hypothesize a similar phenomenon occurs when we divide a play session of Valheim or Minecraft into chores that need to be done to progress whatever goals we have set. By the way, keep in mind that word goals, we're going to explore later on. Anyways, there are many more studies. Check the description for some helpful articles. There's even one about why chopping wood is fun. But the last one I want to mention is a study by Professor... Oh god, I'm gonna mess these names up. Professor Ellen Langer at Harvard University and Professor Judith Rodin at Yale University. To summarize this study, they got old people in a retirement home and told one group to design and upkeep their rooms by themselves, while they told another group that everything will be taken care of. Well, the group that cared for the rooms themselves had much better mental and physical health compared to the ones that had everything done for them, and they lived longer. Were less likely to die as part of the study. I don't know what happened to them exactly, but yeah. Do you understand how much humanity needs chores? And how survival games can come into play in the very same neurological circuits? Chores are an essential part of us, and I suspect that this is why I and many others get addicted to survival games, because it's all the dopamine without the procrastination and exhaustion. Woohoo! Coming to our second component of the drug, red survival games, is building. Can you tell me one survival game which didn't have building as a core mechanic? Leave a comment below if you do. The building mechanic in many survival games might not be as fleshed out or well tuned such as that in Minecraft. However, it is still an important part of the gameplay design and progression system. You may be able to tell why I'm talking about building. Just look at civilization. Humanity has an aptitude, and I would dare say a lust for building. We love building our homes or even jerry-rigging things around our house that can be used in our daily lives. Have you ever considered why those life hack videos you're so prone to watching all the time keep you coming back? I propose it's the same innate human desire to build. Tell me honestly, that when you build that ramshackle hut in Valheim or Sons of the Forest, or even an elaborate castle the likes of which have never been seen before in Minecraft, that you just don't feel proud of your work and admire your art? Even though some may call it
a dinky little pit that no human would ever want to inhabit.
When you use that shack as the base of your operation, isn't opening the doors to those bases, coming in, using the workbenches, or sorting through your items just the best feeling ever? It's like your actual home, you know what I mean? Just in a virtual reality. It's your own space. And you built it from scratch. You are free to add on to it, arrange it, and expand it however you like. And that pesky little exhaustion in real life doesn't come into play. Well, for that matter, so don't regulations and the laws of physics either, but you get what I'm saying, right? Building is so core to survival games, and building diverse and useful structures, tools, and key items are an integral part of the progression system that the developers have laid out for us. I had trouble quoting exact studies for this part. However, I have linked some interesting articles in the description. Give them a read. Though, truthfully, I don't think research is even needed to support this point. From the rudimentary tools of the cavemen to the marvels of ancient Egypt to the race of the world's tallest skyscrapers in the modern era, history is full of human ambition to build. Yeah, survival games may not always be about building like Minecraft or No Man's Sky, but building is important nonetheless. And it's just that much more rewarding when you actually give them functions such as shelter, processing, or whatever the game may provide. Even building new tools and weapons are important to beating the next boss or harvesting a new type of resource for better building. Which makes me come to the final point, goals. Survival games are extremely non-linear. If they have a story, which is albeit rare, they make you work for it. There are no chapters or missions at all, and it is up to the player to progress the story or game as they will. This makes it almost impossible for some to play the game. This is a similar problem with open world games. People don't want to work for their game, you know? They just want to play them. And my theory on why this is the case is that some people find it hard to make goals. There isn't a mission or objective that you have to fulfill in both survival and open world games. So you have to decide where to go next, what to do next, what to build next, and what to kill next. And I think some people aren't about that life, you know? But just as many people absolutely detest this feature, there are equally many who love it to death. That's why survival games are so popular. There are various players set goals in survival games, such as to go and collect 50 wood to build your hut, to go and collect some stones to upgrade your wooden tools into stone ones, to go collect iron to make some armor, to go kill the next boss, to go and explore that new biome or mysterious piece of land that you haven't got to yet, just to name a few. But before getting into this wholesale, I would like to mention that there are many flavors of survival games, and I'd like to differentiate the two core types. This is going to be very important for the discussion ahead. The first type I call are completable survival games, while the others I call limitless survival games. The former is defined by the game having a definite end. Terraria is one of such types. You have bosses that have been laid out across the world and the game progression. You must beat all of those bosses, including the final boss, and once done, you can safely close the game and mark it completed. However, the latter type of survival games are games with no true ending. These are games such as No Man's Sky or even Minecraft, though yes, both of them technically do have an end, but players play these games for its sandbox more than just to beat the game, you know? These games are completely free and open. Do what you want, build what you want, go where you want. Where completable games are more linear in a completely non-linear sense, limitless games are completely open. So, why did I talk about these two types? Well, it's about the goals. Completable games help you with setting goals. They give you a macro goal of beat the final boss and complete the game. Whereas on the other hand, limitless games need you to make your own goals and have some ending, or maybe no ending. Otherwise, you quickly lose interest. The former is much easier for people to get into while the latter isn't. However, goal setting in both types is addicting. For the completable types of survival games, I think this effect is much more stronger and more perceivable. Because you have that end goal of beating the game, all the other goals you set forth instantly gain meaning. This is why continuing forward, I'll use these, aka completable survival games, as an example, because the limitless types of games need other factors for discussion, which will be out of scope for this video. But I may talk about them in future videos. Woohoo! So now, let us see why setting goals in survival games is important. Number 1. Goal. Build a shack. Reason? So I don't die, so I can build up, and eventually I can beat the final boss of the game. Goal number 2. Craft iron weapons and armor. Reason? So I can fight more powerful mobs, get better loot, and try for the final boss. The above text is extremely important to analyze and reveal why goal setting is important and addictive. Firstly, notice that none of these goals are listed objectives on your journal or any other UI element. Heck, in many survival games, no NPC would tell you to do these either. Some games may have like helpful NPC reminders and stuff, but that's just to nudge you into the right direction regardless. These are your goals. You decide to do them. You decide which one is a larger priority than the other. You decide which you will do first. You decide how much time you will spend on each. My God, I've said you so many times. It is all decided by you. And that is a type of autonomy few people in real life have the privilege to afford. By the way, keep autonomy in mind as well. You'll see why. Many of us do things that we don't want to do and even create goals that we don't really want to fulfill. But you know, real life is not as forgiving. Corporate 101. Secondly, these goals are extremely customizable and mimic their real life counterparts. When a mission or objective is listed on your UI in a game, it is very likely that you have to do certain things in a certain manner and at a certain time. That is extremely constrictive compared to the openness and freedoms the goals in survival games offer you. Not only are they your goals, but they can be achieved in a variety of ways. Let's say goal number 1, build a shack. It can be as small or as large as you want, made of stone, wood or clay, and can be your own abode or can include your friends as well. Craft iron weapons and armor. You can go to the biomes in the north, south, east or west and mine the available ore deposits there. or you can kill mobs, maybe they'll drop some crafting materials, or even the finished item themselves. Or you can mine a valuable material and trade it for some money from a trader and buy those iron weapons and armor. That's how survival games offer you a variety of ways to achieve your goals and objectives. Lastly, and most importantly, these games create a psychological roadmap in your head. In the above section, have you noticed that each of the reasons that you would want to achieve the goal end up with killing the final boss? This is because in these completable survival games, you have an end goal, and your mind consciously or unconsciously creates a roadmap. From that end goal, you derive sub-goals or even smaller task-based goals to achieve those sub-goals. Everything you do has a purpose. That is what motivates you to do anything in life and in video games. Wherever there is a solid purpose, there will always be motivation. And wherever there is motivation, you can be sure that the dopamine system in your mind will be coming into play. I'd recommend some videos by Dr. K on healthygamer.gg. He explains the dopamine system very nicely, so please check him out. That purpose will make achieving your goals addicting. All the way from the small task-based goals to finally achieving the ultimate goal of finishing the game, everything is working within your dopamine system. Albeit after that, there's a lot of emptiness. Sadness. Until you find a new purpose or game, but nonetheless, the game was addicting when you first played it, right? So I'm right, shut up. Finally, moving on to the science. A study conducted... Oh god, I'm gonna mess these names up again. A study conducted by Andrew K. MacLeod, Emma Coates, and Jacques Heatherton created two groups. One had 3 short sessions of 1 hour in where each member set goals and discussed ways to achieve them. The other group was kept as a control group. This study discovered that there is in fact a causal relationship between goal setting, well-being, and mental health. Another study done by Moeller, Thaler, and Wu in 2012 analyzed the relationship between learning a language, in this case Spanish, and goal setting. The study found a statistically significant relationship between setting goals and language proficiency. The study also described the importance of autonomy and how the responsibility and freedom of achieving those goals boosted the language learning. Autonomy. Ring a bell for you? I hope you remembered earlier. This is the same autonomy and goal setting that is present in survival games. Sadly, the end goal is not as noble as learning a new language, yet the neurological systems that are being engaged in these studies are the same systems that make survival games so addicting. Check out the references that I used for this video in the description, and please, without further ado, start the war in the comments about why survival games suck. I'm gonna stop this recording because I'm gonna melt from the heat. Bye bye!